Hi, it's Rob from Viper Tactical Training. So my latest addition, the latest addition to my library turned up last night after I'd posted the improvisation video there. So this arrived yesterday. I've had a quick look through it, really good. I've just had a quick speed read through some of the quick glance at some of the chapters, and it's really good. The People's Emergency Plan by Tom Marazzo, Captain retired Canadian Army. I watched Tom being interviewed on YouTube, which is the reason I got this book. Watched the whole of his YouTube interview. Fascinating. I've used emergency plans. I've got my own, which I've used for over 30 years, operationally, worldwide. And I'm hoping, what I do hope is when I buy something, if I can get one thing, if I can learn one thing, I can get one new piece of information, that's money well spent. And just flicking through and having a speed read yesterday, I'm going to get lots out of this book. This is definitely a highly recommended book. And as you'll see, I'm going to do 3 or 4 different short book reviews, looking at different chapters, showing some notes that I've made and how I use these books. So let's have a quick look at the inside of at the start of this. So what I really like about the book is you get some not real life, but based on real life scenarios, from starting to build a plan if you don't have one, to getting a fully working emergency plan. And these days, with all the natural emergencies due to climate change, to man-made emergencies, you definitely need some sort of a plan. And this is a great book. And as you'll see, I'm just going to talk about the introduction. And as you will see on here, some people will not mind this, some people might like it, a lot of people will hate it, because I write annotations in my books, in all of my books, in the margins. So I don't give my books out, I don't lend them, because I won't get them back. I don't give them away when I buy a book. That's it for life. And you can see, as we're going to go through these 4 to 5 pages, I've got a good few notes. So the first thing, when it's talking about the introduction, it's looking at understanding fear and the intelligence preparation of the environment. So, like I said, I've got my plan. This is definitely going to add to my plan. But for my notes here, I've put intelligence gathering. What are the threats? What are my immediate threats? My mid-term threats and long-term threats. Now, I already do this, but this is just for me to come back and reference this. And what I do, where I write notes in the margins, I will copy the paragraph that it pertains to, and I'll put that into my notebook, and I will either write about that, do a video on it, add it to my lesson plans for when I'm teaching. And if it's worth adding, or if I don't have it and I can add it to my own plan, great, I've got that. And that's how I use these books. I'll take different parts out of them that I think are useful. The second part, when we're looking at this, extending the IP, which is the first part there, into the operational planning process. So for me, that means my area of responsibility or my area of operations. And when I wrote this, I hadn't looked at the next chapter, which talks about knowing your immediate areas, your route wreckers, your safe areas, your actions on, what are your actions on now that you can plan for that might happen in your area. The area you live in, the area you're visiting, or the area you're going to be working in, for travelling to, for holidays and everything else. And what this does, this gives you a plan so that if an emergency does happen, you've got a plan for it. You don't have to sit and think. And this stops partly the fear aspect and the freezing aspect of, oh my God, what do I do now? You've got a plan already there. Number 3, knowing when to execute your plan. So you need triggers. You need to understand what's happening in your area where you are. What triggers are going to set that plan off. There's no point in having 4 or 5 triggers that you've missed, and then your plan's been put into operation and it's too late. So I teach a lot of decision making, especially to operations managers, when we're looking at decision making. So what I've put on here is as notes for myself: decision making, fast or snap decisions, how much data analysis do you need for making those decisions, and that's an ongoing process. And then after your emergency, what do you do when you return to normal? So this is like your debrief. So, and you can use this, and as it goes through the book, and as you're doing your plan, testing your plan. If you're testing your plan, did it work well? So on your debrief, what went well? What didn't go well? What did we use? What do I need to resupply? When can I resupply it? Can I get it? How fast can I get that? How were our procedures? How did the plan work? Are we going to review it again? When we're going to review it? What do we need to change on it? How do we make it better? Need for structured planning. So on this part, it's talking about we've got COVID-19 on there. We've got emergency management from local government, and how governments, local authorities can fail in not providing the correct information at the correct time. But what about our own personal failures? And that can also come into place when we're looking at our reviews. So, and this is just in introduction as well. Individual responsibility, government responsibility. So like I've said there, it's your responsibility first to find out, do your intelligence checks, know what's happening in your area of responsibility, the area where you live, the area where you're operating, the area where you're travelling to. I use the government websites, government reports, alerts and everything else. I don't rely on them, but that gives me a heads up to do my own due diligence. A plan. So the plan is for you and your family. It's not for anyone else. Yes, we want to be good human beings, so we can help people as we are implementing our plan, as we are saving ourselves from whatever emergency is we're undergoing. But that plan does not take into account anybody else. That plan is for you and your family. Again, I've put on here the power of a structured planning. So I've put on there again when we're looking at the decision-making process. That's as far as I got up to. We've got calls to action. We've got the full structure here, from having a general overview down to our specific plan and what that specific plan is going to target. And like I said, it shows different case studies. So we've got Sarah and John facing a flood. So they haven't got a plan. And then it goes through, while we're going through the book, it tells us how to make a plan, how to implement the plan, how to review that plan, and it shows you in a structured way how to do that. Can't recommend this book highly enough. Really enjoyed it. I've only got up to the first 5 or 6 pages of the introduction. So I'll do a couple of reviews on different chapters, and then I might add in a few of my own from my own plan, and you can see how this can be supplemental to mine. Really, really important to have some sort of, especially if you travel a lot, especially if you live in an area of extreme weather conditions, have a plan. If anybody wants some advice, or you've got questions, please feel free to hit the comments below, or send me direct messages by email or DMs on whatever social media I'm posting this. Hope that's been of interest. I hope it helped a bit. If you are doing a plan, stay dangerous, rock.